All right, guys, we know the Browns are going to draft a quarterback at some point in this draft. There's a good chance
We
it's
don't
2.
know that for a fact.
If they don't, we will riot. If it's not 2, it'll be 33, or they'll trade up. But I feel pretty confident saying the Browns will leave this draft with at least one rookie quarterback. I asked you guys to text me last night your option of the available free agent quarterbacks. Who would be the best mentor to a rookie quarterback? Not necessarily the best option to play, but the best mentor. Bull, you had mentioned earlier that you wanted Andy Dalton to be the free agent signing at quarterback for the Browns because of what he had done as a mentor for Bryce Young, and he actually spoke last night and said the reason he re-signed in Carolina is him and Bryce had developed an incredible relationship, and he wants to see that through and continue to be that mentor to Bryce as he progresses through his rookie contract. So we'll start with you, Bull. Andy Dalton is not on the board. Who is now your next best option for the Browns if they are looking to sign a quarterback in terms of who will be the best mentor to the rookie they draft?
So it came down to 2 guys for me. One is a guy who played here, and that's Jacoby Brissett. But ultimately, I had him as my backup choice. And my top choice ended up being Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
You played with him, right?
Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Jimmy Gunslinger.
From what I hear, from what I've read about him, he's a great teammate.
He is.
And he has worked well with young players before. And here's the thing. To me, if you ask me, well, who's going to be a quarterback that's a good mentor, I want a guy who realizes he's no longer really a starting quarterback. And Jimmy Garoppolo, he knows the deal. He's not a starting quarterback anymore. He's maybe for a couple of weeks, whatever. He's been through it all. He's been on great teams. He's done a lot of winning. And let's face it, we need some sexier guys here in Cleveland. This is the best-looking man in football.
Dang, he got kind of old a little bit.
But have you ever seen a football player with gray hair look better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
He was getting that though when he was in San Fran.
Oh my God! How much action does that guy get?
Wasn't he dating Lisa Ann?
No, he was doing what was that porn?
What's her name?
Rochelle Ryan.
Her too?
What's that?
I don't even know
he went out on a date with her.
No, that was Lisa Ann. He went on a date with her.
No, it wasn't Lisa Ann.
Yeah, it was.
My boy Jeff Hireman had Lisa Ann when we was in college though.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's kicking above his coverage, no?
Jeff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Jeff was the
Did
man.
he play in the NFL?
Yeah, he played for the Broncos.
Okay, that's
wild.
right.
That's wild.
Shout out my boy Jeff.
So that's why I'm going with Jimmy Garoppolo. In this exercise, I'm not thinking of who's the best quarterback. I'm thinking of who's going to be the best guy for my young quarterback. Like I said, it was between him and Jacoby, and I just felt like, Jacoby's had some experience on winning teams too, but Jimmy's started more, and he has even more experience than Jacoby. So that's why I ultimately picked Garoppolo over Brissett. And I feel like we've been talking about Jimmy Garoppolo as a Browns quarterback for like 6 years, and now it's finally time for it to happen.
It's funny when you go down the list of these quarterbacks to say who you would have be like a mentor. The Browns done had half of them.
They have.
Like Zappy and Flacco and Winston and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And they done had all these.
Colt McCoy. No, I think he's retired finally.
I said in there and I said, listen, they can go back with Jameis Winston or Jacoby Brissett. But, it's tough because people, that's the tough position they're in. The fans have already seen that. And when people have already seen it, it's like being in a dunk contest and you go up for your first dunk and you do something crazy, but you miss it. You ain't going to get no 10 the next time that they get up there and you make the dunk. Like, we've already seen you miss that. It's a little bit. So even with Winston, we've seen that. We've seen what Jacoby Brissett is. It's kind of underwhelming because you've seen those two guys here. And with Winston, it's almost like, he kind of still wants to play, just like Flacco. Still thinks he can kind of play. So,
But you went with Winston, though.
I would probably end up going with Jameis Winston just because he answers a lot of questions. He diffuses a lot of bombs in the locker room. He does, he really bigs up the starter. He has a way of working with the media where he brings the attention to himself, but not in a way that he's trying to steal the spotlight, if you know what I mean. He's deflecting, he's self-deprecating, he's a little funny. So the atmosphere is a little bit lighter, especially when you have a rookie quarterback Tyvus that can struggle a little bit, Jameis Winston can always be a guy that he can speak up a little bit.
All right, Tyvus, who's your guy?
I actually agree with a lot of everything y'all said. I went with Joe Flacco for the simple fact that I know Joe Flacco said he doesn't want to be a mentor, but Joe Flacco would be the perfect mentor. Why? Because he's quite honestly, he might be the only quarterback that Kevin Stefanski ever had outside of Jacoby Brissett and had a good relationship with, that went out there and actually executed. He was also a guy that seen Cleveland at his highest peak. He was also a guy that had the city of Cleveland in the palm of his hands. So what he would do is make sure that guy is ready to go out there. This guy knows how to win. This is the same guy that guys was joking around on the field, got to the lineman's face and made them snap into it and make sure they played. So like he had a good command, and we had Stump on, and Stump talked about just the aura that he had, how he had everybody playing above their skis. That's what a rookie quarterback needs to learn how to do, how to be dripping from that aura, how these dudes like, you know what, dude, when I'm out there with you, bro, I feel like I'm better than Terrell Owens. Like that's how these receivers got to be. And Joe Flacco has been the only quarterback in that huddle that's made every Browns player feel like they was better than what they were, that made them play over themselves. And whatever he's got, I need him to pour that into a younger guy so he can get that play out of his teammates when he takes over the Rams.
I mean, I like it. Sound great.
I know it does, doesn't it?
But
I just thought I pulled that out of thin air.
But Joe was like, "No, I'm not mentoring nobody. I ain't like that. Ain't my job." Like I tried to get him to say that. I said, Joe, if you just say you can mentor Deshaun Watson, but don't even really do it.
No. Because Joe ain't
lie. Joe, come on.
I wonder if at this point he'd be more agreeable to that. I don't know. Didn't
Anthony Richardson had a decent relationship.
Yeah, I thought he had a decent relationship with DTR, didn't he?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. Flacco's just said in the past, and he could change with age. You never know. But he basically said, I'm competing. I want to start. I'm not here to mentor you. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make that clear. But he has come out on record and basically said, I'm trying to start. I want to play. If it helps, if I help a rookie in the process or a young quarterback in the process, great. But we're competing for the starting job. I'm not here to just get
Is this fair? I'm just
I don't agree that that's great, but okay.
Is this kind of fair?
Yeah.
If I wanted to ask who's the biggest mentor to the quarterback, is it fair for me to be like Stefanski? Like, it is like
he hasn't done an awesome. The only person that's done an awesome job under Kevin Stefanski, as far as going out there, commanding the huddle, doing the things that you want to see, has been Jacoby Brissett and Joe Flacco. But Joe Flacco has had the more success.
Right.
So, why?
I need him
he's the only person. I sat here and told you I think it's some type of communication flaws because of all the mistakes that these quarterbacks make. He's the only one that's at least looked pretty good.
It's like
so he understands what Kevin is saying.
Well, I mean, Baker had his moments.
But
obviously that blew up.
Yeah. But the for me, I just want to say, like, look, you're the captain, you're the leader of the offense. I get that you want to have mentors, right, and people like that. But for, all the others, you need to be like, no, I'm the mentor. This is my offense. This is how we run it. And I get that you want other players and veterans to kind of, teach a rookie how to be a great professional and things like that. But I've yet to see Kevin Stefanski truly build a solid relationship with a younger type quarterback.
No, that's fair. And I think you should have both. I mean, I think it's good to have a veteran quarterback or a veteran any player to mentor. I mean, you had relationships, Tyvus, in Seattle that had a big effect on you.
That's funny because I just talked to Sherm about this yesterday.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I wish where I'm at in my life, I wish I would have understood football the way I did year 4. I wish I could have figured that out like year 1 or 2. And his response was, it's not like you had these good vets. I wish the veterans would have just grabbed you and, spend time after practice with you, watch film with you. He's saying all that to say like that's what they did. So, yeah. To answer your question, I had great leaders.
Yeah.
Right.
So to me, this is why I'm so fascinated by this season, because I love pressure. Pressure's gonna show you what you are and what you ain't. And there's no time for shucking and jiving. All that, it was this person, it was that person. That's why I'm so passionate about the situation, because all year you kept saying back and back and back, well, Stefanski ain't got this, and Stefanski ain't got that, and Stefanski ain't got this. It's hard to complain when you say you ain't got something, but then somebody come up to you and say, oh, you need some groceries? I got that. Oh, you need a new refrigerator? I got that. Hey, you need cleaning dishes up? Oh, you need new utensils? I got all that.
Yeah.
And you can't sit there after I got all of that for you to tell me I still can't make a meal.
But see, the thing about it is, Like I understand that Joe doesn't want to be a mentor, but I'm the Winston one I'm out on. Yours and mine's I can see more, because what Cleveland needs right now more than ever is a guy that can make them believe again. Because right now it went back to it's the same old stuff. Like, you know, every Sunday come out there, we used to this. You need somebody that say that's not what it is anymore. And Jameis fell under the, like, he was here. Like, it was like, it is what it is.
Like I said, we done seen that.
Jimmy comes from he won. He been to a Super Bowl. Obviously, he didn't win it, but he been to the Super Bowl, and he's been with the Rams, right? So the Rams won some games. So he's coming from that. And Joe,
a lot of playoff
last time Joe was here, he actually won here. So it was kind of like to see Joe in there, it would just spark. I understand this is just mentors for the rookie quarterback, but what they would see is how he lights up everybody else, how everybody else's day just instantly gets better when Joe is around.
Yeah, but I don't know if he could do it on the field again at this point now.
I don't know if he can either.
Yeah.
But it would not, if you mean to tell me, if they said the Browns have signed Joe Flacco
people
to
would be excited.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it would make you like, oh, Browns
irrationally
football, yes.
excited, but excited.
But like, if they said they signed Jameis back, like, or they signed Jimmy G, like.
Final thought on response to what you're saying. Listen, like we talked about with Barry yesterday, Kevin Stefanski has not done a good enough job through 5 years, and he deservedly should be on the hot seat. I obviously flip-flopped on Kevin Stefanski. I had been a big supporter. I jumped off his bandwagon late in the season, wanted him fired, and then I changed my mind. But he does, in my mind, he does not have a long leash. You make fair points about things he has failed to do, and if that doesn't change, just like if Andrew Berry isn't able to have his first really good draft, if Kevin Stefanski isn't able to do a better job of communication with a young quarterback, then both of them got to go. It's that simple.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk some Cavs again.